High up in the European Alps, something big is on the move. National borders are shifting, and it's all down to climate change. Hello, I'm Darine Abougeda. This is Pinch Point, where geography and politics collide. Picking a border 3,000 meters above sea level is a tricky business. In the end, it comes down to which side of the glacial ridge the meltwater from the glaciers falls. So if the water runs into Switzerland, the map is drawn to include the source inside Switzerland, and vice versa. But as global temperatures rise, those glaciers are shrinking, and the ridges of ice are moving, which means geographers are having to redraw their maps. That's exactly what's happened in the Alps.
In the vicinity of glaciers, when they retreat, for example, the ground cover changes, the course of running water changes, there are new mountain lakes formed, or the trails will change.
It's estimated glaciers are retreating here at the rate of about 50 meters each and every year. On a hot summer day, about 10 centimeters of glacier are lost per day. Average temperatures in the Alps have increased by 2 degrees Celsius since 1850. Worldwide, it's been at least 1.1 degree, with the fight on to keep it below 1.5 degrees Celsius. If high temperatures in the Alps continue, some projections suggest they will be mostly ice-free by the end of the century. So you can expect the borders to be redrawn again and again and again. And it's not just the climate scientists who are watching the changes in the weather. It's the lawyers too, and governments are in the firing line. Take these Swiss women who went to court, arguing their government's inaction over climate change was exposing them to a higher risk of dying during heat waves. The case went all the way to the European Court of Human Rights, and they won.
States have a duty to adopt and to effectively apply in practice regulations and measures capable of mitigating the existing and potentially irreversible future effects of climate change.
That gave the strategists and the politicians something new to chew over at COP29 in Azerbaijan, because they were no longer discussing changes in temperatures and rising sea levels, not like they used to. That's because they're now being threatened with lawsuits around the world. And deadly tragedies like the floods in and around Valencia in Spain in October are likely to add to the climate change litigation, because scientists are blaming global warming, at least in part, for the catastrophe. Another reason the government there should care is the huge bill for repairing the damage, estimated at more than $10 billion.
What we're seeing is really a growing climate litigation movement all over the world. We have seen people, young and old, from here in Europe and South Korea, New Zealand, America, bringing litigation against their governments for failing to take necessary climate action to protect their future and that of their children.
Up in the Alps, the ice continues to melt. Earlier this year, glaciologists had celebrated heavy winter and spring snowfalls in the Alps, hoping they would signal a halt to years of hefty declines or even a reversal of losses. But a blisteringly hot summer meant that just didn't happen. Quite the opposite. And the European Space Service is now saying 2024 is virtually certain to be the hottest year on record, which means that unless the politicians act quickly, the map makers and the lawyers are going to be increasingly busy, and ordinary people are going to experience even wilder and more dangerous changes in their weather.